the princess who married a thief. In the bright and peaceful kingdom of Eldoria lived a young princess named Elara. She had long golden hair, eyes like morning skies, and a heart full of questions. She lived in a grand palace, but she often felt like a bird inside a golden cage. Her father, King Alric, ruled with wisdom, but his love came wrapped in rules. Elara, though loved by the people, wasn't allowed outside the palace walls without guards. She longed to see the world with her own eyes. One evening, dressed in plain clothes, Elara slipped out through the servants' gate. Her heart raced with both fear and freedom. The city was loud, full of smells and songs. She bought roasted chestnuts, watched children dance, and sat by the fountain where old women shared tales. But trouble came quickly. A thief grabbed her coin purse and ran. Before she could scream, a second man dashed after the thief and tackled him. He returned her purse with a grin. "Be careful out here," he said. His name was Kian. Kian was clever, quick, and charming. He didn't know she was the princess, and she didn't tell him. He thought she was a baker's daughter. They met again the next night, and many nights after. They shared street food, played with stray cats, and even helped an old man find his way home. Elara laughed freely for the first time in years. Kian wasn't rich, but he had stories, a warm smile, and a heart full of rebellion. She was drawn to him, and he to her. What Elara didn't know was that Kian was a well-known thief in Eldoria, but he wasn't cruel. He only stole from corrupt nobles and gave food, medicine, and blankets to the poor. In his world, gold wasn't power, trust was. And he had built his own small family of street kids, beggars, and outcasts who followed him like a brother. Elara saw kindness in his eyes, not crime. One night, during a rainstorm, Kian took Elara to a secret rooftop garden. He had grown it himself with stolen seeds and rainwater. "It's the only thing I've built with my own hands," he said. Elara looked at the wet flowers and whispered, "It's beautiful." That night, they kissed under the stars. But back at the palace, her secret walks had not gone unnoticed. The king's spies followed Elara one evening. They saw her meet Kian and reported everything. Furious, King Alric locked her in her chambers. "You are a princess! He is a criminal!" he roared. Elara cried, "He has more heart than anyone in this palace." The next day, Kian was arrested in front of the market crowd. He didn't resist. "Tell her I didn't run," he said. Elara begged her father to listen. She even offered to leave the palace forever. The king refused. "I will erase this shame," he said. To end the scandal, he announced her engagement to Prince Ronan of Asterwin, a powerful neighboring kingdom. Prince Ronan was handsome, but cold. He spoke sweet words in public, but whispered threats in private. Elara, devastated, refused the engagement. Her father threatened to disown her. In the dark of night, she escaped and found her way to Kian's prison cell. With the help of a palace maid who owed her life to Kian's kindness, Elara stole the key and unlocked his chains. "We run now," she said. Kian smiled. "I'd follow you even without legs." They fled to the mountains where Kian's friends lived. There, they built a small life. They helped villagers repair roofs, fed hungry children, and grew vegetables. For a while, peace felt real. But one evening, Kian discovered a plot. Ronan had made a secret deal with a traitor inside the palace. He planned to take the throne, using Elara as his puppet queen. Kian knew they had to return. They snuck back into the capital with help from Kian's allies. Elara dressed as a servant, moving through the palace like a ghost. One night they overheard Ronan threatening the king in the war room. "You marry her to me, or I crush Eldoria with my army," he said. The king looked broken. Elara wanted to burst in, but Kian held her back. "Not yet," he said. They needed proof. Kian stole secret letters from Ronan's camp and gave them to a loyal royal advisor. But Ronan grew suspicious. On the day of the engagement ceremony, he ordered his guards to find and kill Kian. Kian was caught and dragged before the king again. Ronan stood beside him and said, "He's trying to destroy your kingdom." The king, unsure who to trust, ordered Kian's execution. Elara rushed into the throne room. "No!" she shouted. "He's not the traitor. You are." She showed the letters to everyone. The nobles gasped. Ronan drew his sword and grabbed the king by the neck. "You were too weak to rule," he yelled. Elara charged at him with a dagger. A sword fight broke out. Kian broke his chains, tackled Ronan, and the two rolled down the palace steps. They fought in the garden until Ronan stabbed Kian in the chest. Elara ran to him, sobbing. The guards finally captured Ronan. The king dropped to his knees beside Kian, whispering, "Forgive me." Kian was rushed to the healer. For days he floated between life and death. Elara never left his side. On the fourth night, he opened his eyes and said, "Are we still running?" The king gave them his blessing. "You saw truth when I saw shame. I trust you both now." A grand wedding was held, but Kian asked for a quiet one first. Just Elara, her maid, and the children from the street. "These were my first family," he said. The second wedding was held in the palace with every bell in Eldoria ringing. Elara wore a dress made of silk and wildflowers. Kian wore a cloak sewn by the women he once helped. But their journey wasn't over. A few months into their marriage, a drought hit the kingdom. The crops failed. People grew hungry. Nobles blamed Kian and whispered behind Elara's back. "A thief has cursed the land," they said. One night, someone threw a burning torch at their carriage. Kian caught it with his bare hands. "Let them hate me," he said, "as long as they don't stop loving you." Elara refused to hide. She and Kian went village to village, helping rebuild wells, planting fast-growing crops, and offering fair gold from the royal treasury. Slowly, the people began to love them even more. One child said, "You're not a queen, you're our mother." Elara wept that night. Years passed. The king grew old and passed away peacefully. Elara became queen and Kian her royal consort. They ruled with honesty, grace, and open doors. Kian refused a crown of gold. Instead, he wore a bracelet made by orphans. Elara would often smile and say, "He stole the throne, but gave it back to the people." One day, a stranger arrived at court. She was old and carried a worn box. She knelt and opened it before Kian. Inside was a letter. "You are my son," it read. It was written by a noblewoman who had given her child to safety during a war. Kian was not just a thief, he was born noble. Elara smiled. Even fate was on our side. In the end, their story became legend. A princess who loved a thief who became a hero, a love that defied rules, defeated traitors, and rebuilt a kingdom with kindness. They had 2 children, taught them to walk barefoot in the gardens, and to always listen to the hearts of those who have the least. And every spring, on the rooftop garden, the queen and her thief would sit under the stars, remembering the night a coin purse was stolen, and a kingdom was changed forever.